and friends. Today I'd like to talk about some ways that watching anime and listening to K-pop have influenced my life. So the first thing that we'll talk about is taking off your shoes in the house. I didn't grow up having to take off my shoes when I was in the house. I mean, most of the time you kind of have your shoes off in your own house, but it's not necessary. I think this is a great practice though. It is so much cleaner to not have your shoes dragging all types of dirt throughout the house. So if you ever come to my house, no shoes allowed. This does become a little bit of an issue sometimes with my elders and wearing shoes, not being able to wear shoes in my house. But you know, they're not paying the bills anymore. So at the very least, it also gives you an excuse to go ahead and step up the sock game, right? Like, you find all types of fun socks to wear around the house. Good times. The next thing would be putting up posters. So you can see some posters behind me from albums that I bought. I didn't have posters up in my room when I was younger because I didn't really buy CDs like that when I was younger. But now I do buy CDs to try and support the artists that I love. And they come with some good posters. So yeah, I've just taken to go ahead and put a couple of them up. Another thing would be the instantaneous friend connections. So if you're black, you might already be accustomed to this. If you work in corporate America, if you went to a PWI, you're accustomed to being a minority. So, you know, you look across and you see the other black person come into the meeting and you kind of do the little sup, like, we in here. Similar thing happens with K-pop because you're just excited when you find someone else that's listening to K-pop music, or if you see someone else that's really into anime and they have like keychains or things on their phone. So you see them and it's kind of like, I see you, I like them too. Instantaneous friends. Watching anime and listening to K-pop have influenced me to become a faster reader. It's just necessary. When you do not know the languages, you have to do a lot of reading. And when you're doing a lot of reading, they start talking fast. You gotta read faster. I can't say I was a slow reader before, but I'm pretty sure my reading speed has increased from having to read so much anime and so many different K-pop, K-drama related videos. The bad thing is sometimes you still miss words and you have to pause, or you just kind of miss the action that's going on in the top half of the screen. Struggles of a non-native speaker. Either way, faster reading, it's pretty good influence. I've also been influenced by my desire to learn more languages. So in school, I studied Spanish, and I studied for a long time. So my ability to read Spanish is pretty decent, and if I hear it and it's slow enough, I can pick it back up. Speaking is always the hardest, but I haven't had to use it a lot. Now I listen to so much Japanese, so much Korean, and you feel like you're missing out when you don't really know the languages. So yeah, new life goals. I'm trying to learn Japanese and Korean. They've inspired me to learn new languages. Another way that I've been influenced would be in the apps that I've added to my phone. So in addition to apps that I've added to help me with learning Japanese or Korean, I've also added Line, Kakao, and the V app. So on Line, I don't really use Line because I don't have any Japanese friends, unfortunately. Hopefully that'll change. Kakao I have, which is a really great messaging app, and it's a Korean app. Most of the time I'm talking to people in America, but It's a good app, anyways. And then the V app, which is still relatively new, I think is a great concept. It makes you feel so connected to the celebrities that you really like as they do their live videos of whatever's going on in their life at that time. Really, really great. But I've been influenced to add more apps to my phone to help support my love of anime and K-pop. I don't know if the next influence is a good influence or not, but your life starts to revolve around comebacks. So I'll go off on a little tangent real quick. Comeback, if you're not familiar with this term, is basically used for whenever somebody has a new album, which in the United States would be like once a year, maybe every other year, maybe you might even go 2 years without having a CD, and nobody's really going to think twice about it. In Korea, if you get past 6 months, somehow it is really a situation. But comeback is used for every time you have a CD. So you could have just come out with a CD, mini album, whatever, 3 months ago, and somehow it is a comeback. I barely forgot your last song. This is not a comeback. No, it's not. But that's just my little 2 cents on it. Anyways, your schedule starts to revolve around people's comebacks because you have to start getting prepared. Once you know that they're coming back, then you have to make sure you're ready to watch YouTube all day to help their view counts go up. You have to be ready to vote in the music shows so that they win awards. It's just you have to buy the CDs on the Asian sites so that it counts towards the Hanteo chart. So much of your life starts to revolve around that. You also know that they'll be on the V app more. They'll do all these other appearances. You're looking out for all of those. It starts to take over your life. This is why I say I'm not really sure if it's a positive influence or not, but my schedule starts to change completely. You're staying up at various hours, you're getting up at various hours because you want to support. But every fan knows about how that just kind of happens to you. I'm not really sure this counts as an influence. But another note is that you get very accustomed to groups with a lot of members. Like in the United States, normally a group has 5 or less members. Over there, I think the average size is more like 7 to 9 members. And there are definitely groups with more. Like 17 has 13 members in it. But you get accustomed to it like it ain't no thing. Ain't no thing. And you really like them, you sit there and study. And you can spout off their stats like you were quoting the stats for a sports team. You know everybody's birthday. You know their name. You know their stage name. You know their likes. It's crazy. It's crazy. So we'll end this influences of anime and K-pop on my life on a very fun note. 2 words. Picture poses. So I was never a big picture taker. Like I like to take photos of people. I didn't really get my photo taken a ton. But when I took photos, it's pretty normal. You kind of stand there. You might give them an angle. Everybody has to have the booty shot. Like you've got to do the booty shot at least one time with your girls. Outside of that though, you get real excited, you throw some hands up. Hey, that was the excited pose. Now my pictures are a lot of, we got the peace sign all types of over the place. You just peace sign goes everywhere. And I never knew that you could make hearts in so many different ways. Like, take for instance this set of photos from my friend's wedding with me and my sister. Just because, it was a wedding, so it was about love anyway. So the hearts just seemed appropriate, but Man, they make so many different heart poses in their pictures. It gets crazy. And now I have so many more poses to make my pictures that much more fun. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you took away any ideas from this about different things that you want to change in your life, or if you have some ways that you've seen that you've been influenced by anime and K-pop to do different things than what you grew up doing, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. 愛してる. 사랑해요. Bye.